Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the. Just switch this off. Let's switch this off. Let's have no noise, Mr. Bayersky. Very good. Welcome everybody. The title today is you know when someone hasn't a clue about how this world and life works when they say, why aren't they in prison? Not so sure. I don't think you've ever heard me say it. It's really a stupid question. It really is the stupidest question to ask. And it shows how stupid you are and how foolish and how uneducated you are to how the world works when you say, why aren't they in prison? You know, the Dr. Fauci's, the Klaus Schwabs, the Bill Gates. You can go on and on. You can go on forever. Always seem to be elitist, right? Always seem to be eugenicist kind of blokes and women, you know, Hillary and so on. There is definitely an elite type of being where they are privileged to a degree that would be seen on a level of just a brain level of, well, they're rich. Whereas when you really study the world and you see how it works, you realize there's another frequency going on, another level of energy. And it's really is an energy of spiritual energy. It's not the brain set. It's just, you realize it's a dark phenomena. It's a really, really dark energy. And I've talked about this for many years now, where regards to there is a frequency and energy that is within certain people that it would seem that they are protected in so many ways, protected till the day they die, and they normally don't get suicided. They don't get killed. They don't shoot themselves twice in the head and then hang themselves. And funny that only happens to the peasants who start to call out the very nature of reality, and the brave souls who see what's going on and read between the lines and realize that this is a dark world and dark things are happening while we're being sleight of handed with Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, all the bad things that are happening that nobody truly knows about until it's too late, which is, of course, the greatest atrocities, the tightening of the noose around our necks and so on and so forth. So you realize, yeah, there's so many people who came up with ideas that could have been really, really amazing for this world. Yeah. Well, them people end up in a hotel room with no money and normally dead in some position. Those that may have found channeled. I think it's more channeled. I'm sorry, I don't think it's the brain. I think it's a channeled moment where an apple falls on your head and it's not the apple that fell on your head. It's just that thought of whatever. And I'm not so much into that anyway, the gravity theory, and I don't believe in anything these days. I believe nothing that's being given to us by mainstream, nothing. That's only propaganda. What I mean is when somebody's come up with an idea and they've created something because it just came to them, and it could be a car running from water, dead. He's dead now. Oh, wonder what happened to him. He's dead. He just dropped dead, didn't he? Yeah, it was suicidal. Yeah. It may be that you work for a massive corporation, AI corporation, and you realize that the bad guys are running the show and they're stealing information and they're doing the worst thing. Oh, he shot himself twice. Bless him. Shot himself twice. Yeah, dead. Shame that, innit? Yeah. Oh, cameras are all off. We checked to see if there were any dodgy stuff, but funnily enough, all the cameras all throughout the building, for some reason they were off that night. And eventually you start to realize that more and more people who had the answer to healing humanity, creating, were destroyed, were killed, were suicided, were poisoned, were erased from history. And when you see this, it's like you then start to realize that what really is going on. 38 years old, I started on a quest to find out what really is going on in this world. What really is going on? What's going on out there? What's happening? Because if you're around just say a normal family who eat, drink and sleep and work, well, you don't really see anything. So they'll go, what the hell are you talking about? I need to pay my bills. I have to keep the wolves from the door. We're going on holiday next year, so I need to save up for it. What are you talking about? What's for tea? Switch the 9 o'clock news on. What's on? Let's find out what the real truth is. So you realize that you have to walk away from all of that, and you have to really, truly embrace the world, which is a world that this darkness doesn't want you to walk. It fears you walking away from all of that, which is the brainwashing, the programming. And, you kind of scratch your head and think, well, it really is a dark, deceiving deception that is 24 hours a day that's stopping you from thinking. It doesn't want you to think, literally. The darkness doesn't want you to think. And what that means is not literally think, but to ponder, to sit down and to listen to something else that's niggling you, something that wants to try and wake you up from your slumber, to pull you away from the brainwashing, hypnotizing black screen all day long. Woo, 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 Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, woo, woo, 9 o'clock news. The war. What's going to happen tomorrow? It's going to be. So when you come away from all of that and you have time to just sit and ponder and leave all that behind, you start to become dangerous to darkness. Darkness takes notice and it will stop you. It will do everything it can. It will send its minions. It will send its entities and attachments. It will do everything to put you off. And I'll give you a great example. This is a little bit deep. This is for healers who understand this. But if you ever came here to learn pure energy healing for 4 days, one part of that day, which is no more than 15 minutes, I ask you to come outside there, outside that window. So I slide that door, you all sit outside on that nice comfy seat and you look at the sky. And what we're trying to practice here is to observe and see energy. And the way I try and explain it is you're not actually looking for something. You're not looking for it, but you're looking past everything. So your eyes are not focused on anything, but just not even observing. It's just appearing this way. And you're not trying to observe and see anything, but what you're trying to do is wait for something to appear. Really weird to try and explain. It's really difficult. And I try and explain to people because it's the hardest, like there's not the words in the dictionary by design to explain what I mean. And the silly things that I do to try and make you understand that there is there's things happening that we don't see, and you're going to say, oh, well, it's because of your eyes, it's because you do this and do that. No, what I say is that if you take your 2 fingers now, if you get both your fingers and look at your fingers, keep looking at your fingers, keep looking at both of your fingers, and watch them meet in the middle. When you look at your fingers, you'll see 2 fingers meeting in the middle, right? Now, what I want you to do is look at me, but do the same thing with your fingers, but keep looking at me. Don't look at your fingers. Just keep looking into my eyes. Just keep looking this way and do that. And what you'll see, if you keep looking at me, don't look at your fingers will look like 1 finger in the middle. And, you know, science and idiots will come on, oh, that's because of your eyes. That's because you look a lot fun, you don't feel that. Right? That's what they'll do. And then you'll go, oh, yeah, you're right. It's that. But it isn't. It's not that. What you're doing when you're looking past everything, you start to see things that your eyes allow you to see, because you only see 1% of what's happening around you. But if you focus not on anything and allow anything to appear, it will. So when you're outside and you're looking at that blue sky, there's no clouds, it's just blue sky, nothing else there. I say to people, what will happen is that you will find that when you start to see energy, something will stop you. So it could be your brain, it could be a thought, or it could be a bird, it could be a plane, but something's going to stop you. And it's almost like darkness knows this, and it does everything it can to stop you from seeing beyond the beyond. And that is a world within a world within a world. So I've done this for years. It's a practice that I've done because it helps me see energy around you. But there's been many a times that I've just looked straight ahead, and if there is no birds and I'm just fully focused, and it's a form of meditation, you start to see these little tiny cylinder shape, which they're empty vessels. It just looks like an empty vessel cylinder. And all of a sudden there's thousands of them, millions of them. And all of a sudden when you see them, you get a bit excited because like, oh, I've never seen them before. I've looked, but I've never seen them. That's because you've never looked in the way that I'm asking you to look. Just like when you close your eyes and go to sleep, or I ask you to close your eyes and meditate, all of a sudden you'll see things that you never saw when you were asleep, because it's a different form of closing your eyes. So when you look, and let's say there isn't a bird that comes by, which normally all the ladies and men sat there saying, oh my God, there was a bird, and then it just killed it, because we go back into the reality that we're used to. But when there is nothing and you're able to sit there, and it's surprising what you can see. And it's another world. That's all I can tell you. There's another world. It's just that you don't see it. We say it's like Radio, Free Radio 1, Radio 2, BBC, ITV. They're all there, but you have to turn the dial to get to the right channel. Once you've got to the right channel, it's all fine. But hang on. How can they all be there? Because they are all there. You just got to get the right channel. And this is just one way to attune. It's not easy. It takes years. And sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you're not. But as a healer, I can certainly say to you guys, if you're healers, do that, and it'll strengthen your eyes to when you see energy around people. Phenomenal. When you start to see energy around somebody's maybe heart, and you see that energy more so, or change of frequency, density, color, vibration, and you go, okay, there's something going on in the heart which is different from the rest of the energy field. And then you can actually sit there and you'll say to a client, as you're watching their energy field, do you suffer with a headache to your right hand side? They'll go, how do you know that? Say, because I can see that you've got like your energy field is like, I mean, you guys might not have remembered this, but when we were kids, there were an advert on TV which was for Ready Brek. Don't touch the stuff because they poison it. But Ready Brek, you'd eat your breakfast, your oats, and then you'd go outside and you walk, and then there's this field of energy around you. Well, that's basically what we look for as a healer. We look for that energy field around you, and surprise, surprise, depending on how thick that energy field is, gives us, and not just the thickness. Just because your thickness, just because you've got more of an energy field, doesn't mean that you're healthy. So be aware of that as well. In general, it does. It means that you're more healthier, but there could be other reasons why it's, and depending on the vibration, the color, the density, and how you feel about that energy. So, but in general, yes, if your energy is like 2 foot out of you, then something's really, really happening, positive, or maybe something else. It might be that you're expanding your awareness at that moment because you've done meditation an hour ago, or that you did breathing work, or that you ate an apple. Surprise, surprise, things happen to your energy field because of many reasons. And your energy field goes in depending on how bad you feel. If you've been watching the black screen and you feel depressed and there's no point living, your energy field goes in, and it becomes more denser, more gray, and so on. So it's really interesting that when I talk about seeing things beyond the beyond, to somebody eating fish and chips today saying, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, turn it over. This is ridiculous. This guy's talking bullshit. This guy's on mushrooms, or there's something wrong with him. You have to deal with this kind of energy from day to day with people who haven't a clue about anything, about life, none at all. So therefore, I go on to explain that when I listen to people saying, "This should be in prison. Tell me why he's not in prison." Well, here's a little breakdown for any of you guys who talk about those people that should be in prison. First of all, there's a reason why they call the criminal justice system the criminal justice system, because it's intended to give criminals the justice, not for you, but for the elite. The justice system is a barrier to stop you from doing anything to those that are dark. So if you look at two races, two sets of beings on this planet, you've got the beings that come here to improve the planet, to help their brothers and sisters, anybody that they can, and those that want to really make the planet a better place. Their thought is like, I don't want more than anybody else. It's never been part of my thought. In fact, when I do, if I do better than somebody else, I feel guilty. I don't know about you guys, but if I do well, I want to say it's okay and give them back. So if I'm doing well in business, I'm like, I want to give back, because this shouldn't be this way. It should be equal. And then you've got, this is never going to be equal. They can't give it. What about them? They're equal. It's like, oh, just calm down, mate. I can't explain how I feel. I shouldn't have to explain it, but I want everybody to experience this world just like me. And if I'm not feeling good, and if I'm not doing well, it would be nice that somebody held their hand out and helped me, and as I help people every day. So yes, I want everybody to be, I want to walk out this door and know everybody's happy. And if you're not, I want to try and help that person feel happy. I don't know why. I haven't got an explanation why. It's not because I want to do good. It's not because I want to do it because I want brownie points and I want people to see how good I am. I can give a shit about what people think about me, but I give a shit about how you feel if you're not feeling well. If you're feeling great and if you're doing great, no problem. I'm on my way. I'm not interested. Doing great, you're doing great. I'm not bothered about that. Then that person's okay. But if somebody's not doing okay and somebody's saying I'm down on my luck, everything's like, I know that feeling. I've been there many times, and I want to try and help. Not that it's going to help. You know, I've sent money to people and I've always said, this ain't going to help. Might help you a little bit now, but it ain't going to help, right? Because you need more help. There's other things that we can do. And maybe please go to my YouTube channel and start watching the videos, because you might get real help. And what the help that means is, you know, give a man a fish. You've heard that expression. And he won't be hungry for a day. Give a man a fishing rod and teach him how to fish, and he'll never be hungry again in his life. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So I've given people money, doesn't work. They just want more, and they get privileged in that respect, that they expect more then. So that's shitty. That doesn't work. But to try and help you there and then, I'll do my best. But normally 9 times out of 10, people will then contact me next week or the week after saying, oh, I'm still in a bad place. So you realize that money doesn't really help. So that's why I transitioned into doing videos like this every day, so that hopefully somebody who watches this might get one thing from it and then learn how to fish. Or spiritually speaking, learn how to spiritually become stronger and not let things affect them, and learn how to heal themselves in so many ways. I think my work is important, but the frustration for me is I wish everybody could learn it at school. My frustration is I wish everybody could learn how to meditate, but that frustration isn't from not knowing why. Of course I know why. That's why I don't say to people, they should be in prison. They should be learning this at school, right? Because we are ruled by a very, very dark system and very, very, very dark beings in this world that present themselves as those that should be in a place of power, because they have intelligence, they have wisdom, and they come across as powerful. But as you know, you look at history, and history shows you that all of the people seated in a place of power were put there by design. Nothing really organically happens in a way that they work their way to a position, because you normally find that in any huge corporation, the underdog who may have worked their way up always looks at, how did he get in? It was, hang on a minute, hang on everybody, stop a minute. I've worked here from a young lad. I know every single position because I've worked them all, and I've got to this level, and now there's an opportunity for, you know, a senior manager, and this guy's just walked in from nowhere, who's no clue about anything, who doesn't know what he's doing, and yet he's now being paid 500,000, $500,000 a year, and I'm still on 80,000 a year. And who is this guy? Now, you'll find that in every walk of life, whether it's intelligence services, whether it's politics, whether it's CEOs of pharmaceuticals, whether it's charity organizations. And the reason why is because people are being put into place because they have been programmed in a certain way, because they are, you could say, a family of dark energies, family of dark spirits, and they rule the world, and they're placed into these positions because they know that the soul inside is dark, and therefore whatever is done to those souls, which is a form of, like, you're groomed. You can't say you're not groomed. Look at what happened when you were a kid. You were groomed at school. You were groomed at church. You were groomed by your parents that were groomed by whoever. So we've all been groomed in a certain way. Well, these rich elitists, which are part of a global cult bloodline, are also groomed. Their grooming is slightly different than ours per se, but we still get abused. We still get beaten. We still get raped, many of us, but so do they. That's part of their grooming. So if you look at any politician, they've all been raped by their predecessors, or their teachers, their mentors, their gurus. They've been raped by them all the way through. So it's part of their normal programming, their grooming. So now they're placed in positions of power, not because they know exactly what they're doing and they're the perfect person for it. Kash Patel, perfect example. Tony Blair, Keir Starmer, and if you go around the world and look and see them all, that you'll realize that they're all placed there in a place of power because they are owned. They are part of a family, or 9 times out of 10, they're compromised. And it's quite easy. Have you ever asked yourself, I mean, I'm going off on one ear, but have you ever asked yourself, why is it that porn is so accessible? It's everywhere. Even ask your children, if they're 18, 19, they're all addicted to porn. It's everywhere. Porn is everywhere. Why, like, oh, you know, is this legal? Well, if you need to ask, then yeah, then it's illegal. Well, why is it everywhere? Why is it that I only need to click on somewhere and it's there? Why is it so accessible? Why is it so hard to find the cure for cancer when you look for it? Why is it so hard to find, you know, how to run a car on water? Why is it so hard to find the real answers to life? You won't find any of the answer. You'll not find any, but you can find porn with 3 clicks on your computer. Why is that? I'll tell you why. On a level of just humans walking around, by offering them a ritual to watch another man and woman have sex, or 1 man and 2 women, or 10 men and 10 women having sex, it is basically a satanic ritual what you're watching. So when you are performing in that satanic ritual because you're watching, it's just like a satanic ritual whereby there's a man and a woman, like eyes wide shut, having sex, and then everybody is watching it. There's no difference, guys. You're still doing the same as the satanic ritual abuse if you're watching porn. I know it probably upsets some of you, but it's the truth. It pulls you into a dark place, and all by design, by the way. But here's the cherry on top for evil. That camera watching you watching porn, whether you're masturbating or whatever you decide to do, just watch. It's watching you and it's recording you. And with the help of Pegasus and Pegasus 2 and Pegasus 3, if you become a threat to the evil that runs this world, you're recorded. Everybody is recorded. So at any given moment, if you become too much of a threat, you will probably receive an email or a WhatsApp, and you'll press it and you'll see yourself masturbating with a message saying, shut up, or else this will be viral. Now, this is just one thing. They watch and listen to everything that you say and do. So that, just bear that in mind. That's why porn is free. It's a CIA, FBI, every single country, whether it's Scotland Yard, MI5, whether it's Mossad, whoever it is in the world, this is all accumulated to the families that run the world. And it isn't about Russia. It isn't about China. It isn't about America or Europe. It's about a global satanic cult, the cult of Baal and many others, that have integrated into every single part of society, whether it's the law, whether it's religion, whether it's finance. They've infiltrated everything. They watch everything, they know everything, and they're well ahead of anything that you could come up with. So when people say, why aren't they in prison? Well, they're not in prison because they're doing their master's work. They're doing the evil that they're meant to be doing, which is causing as much damage on this world as possible. And they're doing their master's bidding. And ultimately, their master's bidding is not of this world. It's of another world that vibrates at a different frequency. And that frequency basically runs this world. It does. It runs this world because it's infiltrated everything. So therefore, whenever you see somebody who's done something so bad, and then you look at yourself and think, wow, if I sold one of my oils and it caused somebody a rash, I'd be thrown into prison for 6 months. You know, if somebody went like blind with my oils, I'd be in prison for 10 years, right? So you realize that there's two things happening at any given moment. They're waiting for somebody to do something wrong, like the peasants, and that's called low-hanging fruit. So they'll grab that person and hold him up and say, look what we've done for you guys. We've caught this bad Mr. Bayersky from selling oils which were dangerous, and we're going to throw him in prison now. That appeases the peasants. Okay, we've got the law, it's all good. And yet, the pedophiles are raping children every day and getting away with it. Never to be caught. The Jimmy Saviles, the prolific pedophiles who have raped children in every walk of life, whether it be the royalty, literally, whether it be the heads of state, whether it be the whips, the lords, the MPs. When was the last time you ever heard of an MP getting thrown into prison for raping a child? You don't, because they're protected by the law, which was created to shut the peasants up so they can do the worst kind of evil that this world was made for. And it was, because it's been hijacked. So when people say to you, they should be in prison, why aren't they in prison? They have no clue to how the world works. No clue. Clueless. Because evil protects. Satanic protects. Pedophiles protect. Because they're all evil spirits that reside in these bodies that are different from you. Because your spirit is like mine and most of humanity that just want to live a life and be kind and caring and not raise a hand, not abuse, not fight anybody. There are many people in this world that are peasants, right? Like you and me, but they call us peasants, useless eaters, that also are dark souls. So it's not just the elite. There are dark souls that are amongst us who do the most horrendous things. All you need to do is look online and you'll see that we are living in a cesspit of child abusers on this planet. Horrific. There's more than you can imagine. If you want to know the biggest club in the world, that's it. That's an awful thing to say, but I would say that the biggest club on this planet is child abusers. They are everywhere, and there are so many of them, which tells me that there are not as many souls and spirits like you and I on this planet than what we thought. We're a lot less. And I believe that there's a lot of bodies on this planet that are neither of dark soul or of the spirit world where you and I come from. And these are what are known as the fillers in, the backdrop people, NPCs, non-player characters, those that basically are just born and are programmed. That's it. There is no conversation with their soul to their brain. So all there is a brain that has been programmed. That's all they know. So when you speak to them, there's a glaze in their eyes, like they have no clue to what you're saying. Whenever you step out of the system, when you step out of the program, and you look out and you say to that person, hey, step out of this and look at the bigger picture, they look at you with like there's nothing there, because they've never been programmed to know anything other than what they've been told to do, because there isn't a consciousness that takes over the program that basically rises above that and shuts it down, and then looks at something in a way of spiritual awareness. They don't have that. And that normally happens when you have had a conversation with somebody and they don't have a clue, and you feel drained afterwards, and you think, how I've spent an hour trying to explain to you, and this person is like, you're trying to bore through a stone. Nothing is that. No matter how hard you think you're nearly there, you think you're getting, and there's nothing. And you walk away, you feel exhausted, you feel confused, you don't understand what the hell just happened there, but that person thinks you're crazy and there's something wrong with you. That's not their fault. It's their program. That's all they know, because they work from the brain, which is a program. It's a computer, and all it can give you is what the computer has stored. Whereas if I talk to you on a soul to soul or spirit to spirit level, that's who you are. There are no words. You don't need to speak to each other. You just feel each other, and you might have a few words, and you're already speaking soul to soul, and you feel like you just sit with them and you just know. You just have a few words and like, yeah, you just checking on you. I'm just checking in. Yeah. And you still feel like, wow, it's like this person knows me without saying anything. Yes, because your souls are communicating with each other, and you both vibrate at the frequency of truth, of knowing, of everything that all is and never will be. It's infinite awareness. You've got to understand, when you're sat with an NPC, that it's not their fault. They have no clue to what you're saying, because there is no soul within that body. And people get so angry with me because they've been brainwashed to this idea that every baby is pure and beautiful and has a spirit. No, they don't all have a spirit. Sometimes spirit does not go into that baby. But without the spirit, the body doesn't work. No, the body works fine. It just does not vibrate at the same frequency. It doesn't vibrate. If you're a healer, you'll understand when you work on somebody without that soul. And I'll give you a great example rather than just saying that person. If somebody comes to you and they say, my husband's here with me, I have to bring him up the stairs, he's not very well. This is what normally happened. Yep, bring him upstairs. Tickle pink, my little room, half the size of this. The guy looks at me, glare, nothing there at all. Okay, so now I'm used to this now, many years. I know what this is. It's either Alzheimer's, dementia, whatever you want to call it. I can tell you what all that means. It's bullshit. Or these are just words that are being given to you by darkness. And normally they do that so that they can put you into care homes. that it's a spell, basically. It's a spell. I'm sorry, but it's a spell. Yes, it's connected to heavy metals. It's connected to the disconnect, so that you don't have the spirit awareness. But anyway, that's why this came in force. Same thing. That's why you're finding now, and just do some research. Doesn't take long. How many people have got dementia now? Wonder why that is. Wonder why that is. And I wonder why that is, that they have the label called dementia. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why right now. They come upstairs. The man has got that glare. There's nothing there. Nobody home. The lights are on, but nobody's home. Right? Poor guy. Okay, so I sit the man down, or I lay him down. I start working on his energy field. The energy field is there, but it's not the same frequency as a soul spirit energy frequency. It's different. So the heart is a battery, and you can feel that battery life. It generates warmth and heat and moves the body and so on. So there is a frequency around them. When the spirit is in there, it will grow and it will transform, change color. It will do so many things. It's incredible. But my point being is that, let's say a man comes with his wife sits there and says, meaning that he's not hearing me, he's not understanding, he's not here. And she's devastated. Of course she's devastated. So like, okay, well, let me see what I can do. I put my hands over his head, on his heart and his head, or all on his heart, and I start to work on the energy, and I start to try and open and cleanse and clear and work on that body. And as I'm working on it, it might take 10 minutes, it might take 20 minutes, it might take half an hour, it might take 40 minutes. As I'm working, I've normally got my eyes closed. All of a sudden, my eyes will open. If this happens, my eyes will open, and I will know when the spirit is back into that body, because something happens. It's not like a thunderbolt and lightning strike. It's so delicate, but so hard to explain in words. As energy and feeling as a healer, I can just say that I know something's just happened. Something's changed in the body. Something's just happened. Something is, you could call it awakening. It's an awakening. They've woke up. But I've come to understand over the years that the spirit comes back in, and then everything is back again. So it's like, oh, and the words that come out of my mouth and my client is, they're back again. And then the tears pour down the man's eyes. They hug each other, and then they go. And that might last for 4 minutes, 10 minutes, a day, an hour. I don't know. I don't have the understanding of why that disconnect happens again. I haven't studied it. I haven't looked at it. I just can tell you what I know through my clients. And so I'll get a phone call. He's gone. Not dead. But why did you just say he's gone? Because he's not there anymore. Right? So, yeah, you're right. He's gone. Meaning his soul, his spirit isn't there anymore. So you're dealing with a body. That's the same as an NPC. So, but when I say that, I mean, I don't mean it in the effect that they're walking around like somebody with dementia that don't know what they're doing. What I mean to say is that the bodies are still alive. They're still moving, they're still working, but their brain is not functioning exactly the same. Whereas an NPC functions very well. The brain is fine until it's not, of course. But my point is that your body definitely can still work 100% without the spirit inside it. And the hijack of NPCs, where for some reason, and I don't know fully, I don't know, I've never looked into it, but it's easier, I think, when NPCs are sick or relatively addicted for this dark entity, which splits off into different types of spirit, which are spirit drops that fall into NPCs' bodies and then take over them. So now you've got an NPC that is riddled with demonic entities, attachments, and so on. So there are so many levels to this, and I don't want to go down too many paths, but it is important that we understand that the world that we live in is run by a satanic global system coordinated by a very, very evil, dark battle of darkness against light. So ultimately, darkness knows, in the sense of each drop of darkness that is inside pedophiles, that is inside, all of these people who are at the highest positions that are working for evil in the way that they are evil. See, I work on the level of my spirit world, which is kindness, right? I don't need the spirit world to tell me to be kind. I just am kind. So I do, like now I'm here. I try and keep things clean. I try and look at my website and try and help people. I try to look after my children. I try to go out there and smile at people and do my best. I try to create things to make a difference. I try and help people whenever I make money. I give money and I share and care. Nobody needs to tell me to do that. I don't need a Bible it's a natural thing. The drop of evil that comes from this dark spirit world, they don't need to be told what to do. They already know what to do, just like I know what to do. And what they need to do is get into that body, start growing up, taking, hurting, causing as much pain, wanting as much power to be in control of everybody, wanting to hurt people, wanting to make people feel bad, wanting to rape children, want to abuse, want to just take. That they don't need a lesson in that. Just like you don't need a lesson by a hijacked church, which downstairs are probably going to be doing rituals on babies. You don't need a church to tell you what to do. You know exactly what you need to do because you are the drop of the world that is called our spirit world, which are good souls that have come here to experience everything that we experience. We hope to experience good, but we realize that this world isn't so good. And as the Buddha said, who sat under a tree for 20 years, you know what, pal? I'd say pain is inevitable in this world, but suffering is optional. So what do you want to do? I'm like, yeah, you're right. It is. It's inevitable because there's so many demons and dark beings and evil souls on this planet. You're eventually going to come across evil people. It could be in your family. It could be friends, so-called friends. It could be strangers. It could be your government. It could be your church, and so on. So you realize that we do live on a planet with good and evil. Oh, but we're all looked after and protected. Okay, pal. Yeah, and the bad guys always get put to prison. All right, pal. Okay. Yeah. You just keep eating your popcorn and keep drinking your Coca-Cola, and I'll see you later, pal. So that's why Pedophiles in Parliament, which was created by a lady in the UK called Sonia Poulton, I think she's called. Just watch it. She when I watched it years ago, I thought, okay, statistically speaking, in the Houses of Parliament, with all them men in there, statistically speaking, there's going to be more than one paedophile in there. Statistics will say there's more than one paedophile. How many paedophiles have been sent to prison from Parliament? That's right, 0. So, you know, and then you've got good people who, back in the time when I first started this work, were working so hard, like the John Wedges of this world, the Wilfred Wongs, and Wilfred is in prison now for trying to help a child from being raped, or so he thought, because not just America with CIA, FBI, always doing terrible things with the military industrial complex. It's not all of them are just words. We're talking about the demonic side of this world that runs this world. Well, the same demonic side is of the UK and of Belgium and of every country in the world. So what they do is they're always watching to see who's the danger. Not a danger to hurting children, but a danger from protecting children. Who's trying to find out who's got the cure for cancer? Put him in prison. Who's trying to find a way of creating free energy? Kill him. So you realize that at one time this sounded ludicrous to the NPCs. Of course it will do. But to you guys, now you're realizing that there's more truth and you're starting to see the veil more and more. That veil, which is showing you that actually we are run by evil. Evil is in control of the whole world. And they're always going to feed you the idea of that they're trying to save you at the same time as they're trying to kill you. At the same time as we're trying to save this country, so we need to attack that country. All the while, the main reason for it all, the pinnacle to all of this, was a man once told me, and I absolutely believe it. It was said to me many times, but the first time I heard it, there is a group of families that run this world. And their entire job from the moment they're brought up as children to when they are ruling the world, they cause chaos. They cause war. They cause famine. They cause disasters. They cause viruses, so-called. They cause fear 24/7 hours a day. They cause the biggest false flags or horrendous things that happen, shootings, all of the shooting, every single thing. All these families are all over the world, and they don't communicate to each other, but they know exactly what they all need to do. And that is what I've just told you. So their job is to cause as much suffering on this world. Why? The reason why is because they are, let's say, the gophers, they are the minions, they are the puppets to the frequency of masters that are the dark energies, the dark energy that runs this world. So why is it that they do this? Why does darkness want these to do it? Because you are a battery, whether you are a spirit inside the battery. When I say you, I mean the vehicle that you work in, that the car that you're driving right now, which is your body. You are the spirit inside that. That body, this body, has a battery right here. Okay, they call it the heart. It's a battery. And this battery has frequency. And depending on how you feel, your mood is how this battery vibrates, high at a positive or a low at a negative. But either way, It can vibrate from day to day, moment to moment, either way, depending on what you're looking at, what you believe, or what's been poisoned inside your body. Ultimately, darkness can only live and only thrive because the mothership, let's call it, or the pool, the ocean of darkness, every drop that comes into this world, into the bodies, or is floating around, just like the spirit world, our spirit world floats around, okay? It can only float around at a high frequency. So given this room, if I work in this room at a high vibe and I get this room cleansed and cleared and I start saying healing prayers in the sense of pure energy healing that I work with, and I start to give healing and this energy, which is universal, which is pure healing, comes through and this room gets higher and higher in frequency, the spirit world can come easily into this room, straight in, and you can feel them. Oh, your ears will pop, you'll get a message, you'll feel your grandma or your dog or whatever. That's because you've created the frequency that it can vibrate in at or attune your radio dial. Oh, they're here now. Oh, they're not here anymore. They're here because the energy is high. They're not here because the energy is low. So you vibrate, you change the room into that frequency. If you are in a bad mood and you're angry and you're screaming and shouting at each other at home and you feel depressed, your battery life then changes to a negative frequency. That kicks out of your body, and that's when evil, these evil monsters, everything in the evil energy of spirit darkness can penetrate this room. If you drink alcohol, you vibrate at a negative. Remember, you have a drink, you feel right happy, and then all of a sudden something will just go, and now you think you've gone past that happiness, and now you know you're going to be sick. That's that at that point, it can come in because now you're vibrating at sickness. You're vibrating at, oh, I don't feel good. I feel sick. I feel bad. I feel, oh, that your energy's changed. Now they can come in. Now the energy in the room, because you and your partner's been screaming at each other, darkness can come in. It can float around. It can be stronger and more powerful. Just like if I'm healing somebody and spirit, and I get the room at a right like you call it temperature, get it at the right frequency, spirit comes in, works through you, works around you, works in that energy field, and they will heal the person that they love, that they've come to help. That's why a healer or a shaman will always start to create the energy in the room. That's one of the most important things, because ultimately we're trying to bring our spirit world into the room to help heal. And there's nothing more beautiful than you lying down and your grandmother comes into the room as a single drop from your beautiful spirit world to then give energy through me. And then I'll move over to that side and they'll still be there because that energy field is still there. It vibrates out of that frequency after maybe 10 or 20 or half an hour, but that energy field is still there. Therefore, if darkness can tell its minions to cause pain and chaos in the world, then the frequency of death, the frequency of grief, the frequency of fear, the frequency of murder and abuse, it makes it easy for evil to be anywhere in that energy. This was just food for thought. This is my understanding as a healer. It's my understanding as a healer for 20 years of working with clients. Everything that I share with you is all through experience, not through books. It's through experience. I share this from the bottom of my heart. I share this for the only reason for you to think about it and go away. I don't ask you to believe it. I don't care whether you believe it or you don't. I just share my truth. And if there's anything there that triggers you to look at life and to ponder about it and start to ask your spirit, is this true? Ask your spirit, what do I need to do with this information? What is my path? If something just triggers in you that you seem more excited about, whether it's good or bad, but you're excited about it for some reason, normally what I found is that your spirit is speaking to you saying, this is the reason why you're listening to this. And that line that he said, that one thing that he said that triggered you in a good or a bad way, is something that we need to look at and move forward in that direction. So we're all being given signs, all of us, all day long. Just most people just do not have the time to see them because they think that their life is about eating, drinking, sleeping, working, going for a better job, paying your mortgage off, definitely having a week holiday or two if you're lucky. That's the program. That's what evil has created on this world. You were never meant to do that. Got to have my 3 meals a day. You were never meant to eat 3 meals a day. You're meant to fast. We are meant to fast, and we're not doing it, and we should be, because when you fast, you will feel better because your body will then start to work as it was meant to do. There's so many things we don't understand. There's so many things we don't understand. Why? Because we've been hijacked. They've burnt the books. They've lied to us. They've burnt the healers, which they called witches. They mock and ridicule healers like myself every day. Have a great day, guys. Take care. Bye for now.